Alouette, one of Canada's biggest aluminum producers, has confirmed a stunning $1.5 billion investment to upgrade its smelter in Sept-Îles, backed by a long-term energy deal with Hydro-Québec. The announcement marks one of the largest industrial moves in North America this year. At the same time, Donald Trump took the stage in Pennsylvania, vowing to double steel and aluminum import tariffs to 50%. The immediate result? Aluminum markets spiraled into chaos, with U.S. premiums jumping 54% overnight, and America's factories suddenly scrambling for supply. Trump's tariff bombshell hit hard, but Canada didn't flinch. Within days, Ottawa fast-tracked the $1.5 billion Alouette expansion and quietly locked in deals to reroute over 3 million tons of aluminum exports away from the U.S., instead sending them to Europe and Asia. While U.S. automakers and aerospace giants now face price spikes and supply headaches, foreign buyers have already secured Canadian aluminum at pre-tariff rates. With American industry sidelined, global competitors are stepping in, fast. Why does this matter? Because the Alouette plant produces over 620,000 tons of primary aluminum per year, and now has one major advantage: cheap, stable hydroelectric power. With a new agreement from Hydro-Québec, the smelter not only slashes costs, but earns green energy credits that make its metal even more appealing on the world stage. According to industry chatter in Montreal, Canada's low-carbon aluminum could undercut U.S. prices by 20%, sparking a quiet buying frenzy in Brussels and Tokyo. American manufacturers are now stuck between two painful options: either pay higher costs under the 50% Trump tariffs or chase down Canadian aluminum through alternative routes. Neither path is easy. Production delays and budget overruns are already hitting U.S. automakers, while aerospace firms warn of postponed deliveries. Behind closed doors, major U.S. buyers, from automakers and aircraft manufacturers to defense and infrastructure contractors, are urgently lobbying lawmakers for relief. Some have begun requesting temporary tariff exemptions, while others are pushing for fast-track trade talks to secure bilateral supply deals with Canada. Industry groups have warned Congress that if the tariffs stay in place, the cost of domestically built vehicles and airplanes could spike by as much as 15%, triggering layoffs and lost export contracts. Despite this pressure, Trump's trade advisors remain publicly committed to the 50% tariff line, calling it necessary for economic independence. That has only deepened concerns in industrial states already feeling the squeeze. Meanwhile, Ottawa is using this moment as leverage, tying access to metals with EV subsidies and clean energy incentives, shifting the balance of power in trade talks. The fallout doesn't end at metals. In Asia, smelters once reliant on U.S. bauxite are switching to Canadian sources. Investment is flowing north, with Canada emerging as a key player in global metal supply. Pro-chemical plants are watching closely too, because rising aluminum prices often signal broader inflation. If costs keep climbing, central banks may be forced to revise their entire monetary strategy. What started as a Trump protectionist move is turning into a full-blown global realignment. By early June, U.S. buyers felt the pressure. Premiums surged to 58 cents per pound, up 54% from May. Nearly half of U.S. aluminum is imported from Canada, so Trump's tariffs hit a critical nerve. That same day, Canada's Industry Minister Melanie Joly held emergency meetings, blasting the tariffs as illegal and unjustified. Ottawa responded with a clear plan: tariff-matching measures, quota restrictions on non-FTA countries, and a $10 billion relief loan program to stabilize its metals market. Canada's strategy goes deeper than countering tariffs. In June, it announced that all major infrastructure and defense projects will now prioritize domestic aluminum. Canada is turning aluminum into a national strategic asset, backed by clean hydropower and global demand. The ripple effect: less oil use in U.S. energy markets and a total rethink of continental energy logistics. In May 2025, Canadian exports to non-U.S. markets hit $60.8 billion, up nearly 6%. Gold exports to the UK surged 30%. Pork to Japan, pharmaceuticals to Italy, crude oil to Singapore, all rising fast. Behind the scenes, small and mid-sized Canadian firms are tapping trade deals like CETA and CPTPP to diversify far from Washington's influence. The result? Canada isn't just surviving Trump's trade war, It's thriving. New infrastructure tells the story. At the port of Saguenay, deepwater docks now connect Quebec's smelters directly to ocean carriers, bypassing the U.S. completely. In 2023, the port moved over 718,000 tons of cargo, and this year, that number's exploding. European and Asian buyers are booking slots months in advance, locking in Canadian metals at pre-tariff prices. Locally, jobs are booming and emissions are dropping thanks to electric cranes and streamlined rail links. Canada's logistics machine is working overtime, and it's changing the game. So what happens now? On July 21st, new Canadian counter-tariffs go into full effect. If U.S. manufacturers can't absorb the added costs, they risk losing even more ground to global rivals. Meanwhile, Canada's green tech hubs are getting massive funding, with EV battery plants in Ontario, aerospace investments in Montreal, and research grants pouring into next-gen composites and flight tech. The big question: can Washington halt this northern surge? Or is Canada now the new heavyweight in global trade? Drop your thoughts in the comments and hit that subscribe button, because the next trade war just got personal.